All right, here we go. All right, everybody. Well, welcome to the Reset. My name is C Dubs, and I do a lot of things in life. I love gaming. I love cooking. Gaming is my hobby. Cooking is my job. I haven't had a lot of time for my hobby as of late, which it is what it is. That's part of adulting. Unfortunately, like responsibilities start to outrank hobbies. Uh, if your priorities are in the right place, you know what I mean. But yeah, like I've been talking about wanting to do a podcast. I want to do a podcast, and I've always been scared to put my feet to the fire and start running with it because I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what success would look like. I don't know what failure would look like. All I know is that it's a very intimidating aspect to take into play whenever you're going and you're working 40 plus hours a week at a job, and then on my off time I'm a full-time dad, and then like I'm also going through a lot of personal shit right now that we're not going to get into, but like we're coming out of the black tunnel, so to speak, and there's a little bit of light at the end of it. And I've always said for, I say not always, but I would say probably for the past 2 to 4 years, depending on the situation, I've always said that I've had one good dice roll left. Like one more shake of the dice, let her rip, tater chip, all marbles in. This is do or die. And I've always said that I got one left. You know what I mean? Like I've hit the reset button quite a bit in my life, and I guess you know what? Let's just expound on that. Like, what is the reset? For me, the reset is a place I can go to for self-reflection, and it's verifying against the camera. Essentially, I'm running a race against myself, and I've always wanted to pursue a career in broadcasting. I love the idea of broadcasting. I really fucking do. Like there's a bliss there. Like if you can do it right and you can just talk to people and people can listen to you and you just get caught up in whatever eloquence is pouring out of their lips at that point in time, I think there's something magical in that. And I remember listening to like radio talk show hosts, you know what I mean? And like fucking, what was her? I think her name was, I want to say her name was Delilah. And, like I was a kid and it was like late at night. It was like late night talk radio and like soft jams essentially. Like I remember just listening to that broadcast, Delilah talking to viewers, talking to other people, dishing out songs that kind of made you feel something. Like there's something magical there. Like I love music, you know what I mean? And I enjoy talking to people, but I'm more of a listener than a talker. I don't really expound too much on what I'm feeling because I'm more consumed with whoever's talking to me at the moment, you know what I mean? I want to listen to them. I think that's very, very fucking important. I think listening to people talk is extremely important. And so there's a lot of times where like I won't really say much, you know what I mean? Because the opportunity doesn't call for it or the situation at hand requires a different kind of attention. And I'm getting off track here, but the reset, as far as my YouTube channel goes, harkens back to that broadcast dream I had as a kid. Like I remember having a tech class in 6th and 7th grade, and we'll just say Mr. H had these modules that we would do, and one of them was actually like radio talk show, and I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember going in there and I just dropped right into the cut. I wasn't, 6th grade, 7th grade, we're talking 13, 14, maybe even 12, I don't know. I just remember going in there and just instantly knowing what I wanted to do. I had listened to so much radio. I love music. Like I've said that before, but I listened to the radio to get to the music, but then in the music you catch on to all these little nuances and all these little things that kind of add up to something bigger. And whenever I got to be in charge, in command of my own radio talk show, including music introductions and music outros, it was all fascinating to me. I was like, wow, I want to do this. Excuse me, man, sorry about that. I want to do this in a big way. And it's kind of like cooking, man. Like, I remember when I was knee high to a duck, I don't remember how old I was. We had just gotten the Food Network on cable, and that was like the big thing in the house. That was like the most awesome thing ever. And I remember watching Emeril Lagasse. And Emeril Lagasse threw it down. He was funny to watch. He was intuitive. He was very intelligent. He could get his point across in a very eloquent but gripping, kind of entertaining way. And when it went bam, like that was the shit, man. For me, that's what made me fall in love with cooking. Not the show itself, but the amount of passion that somebody can have for what they do and just pour their whole being into it, to where that is you. You know what I mean? You are living in that very moment, and that is your personality showing through 100%. And so, like, as I grew up, I started messing around with cooking a little bit more, and I found that I love food. I just love food, man. I don't eat it as much as I make it, but I love flavors. I think there's something just magical whenever you have a bowl full of flavor, and you can't discern what certain things are because it's masked by this, but I'll be damned if it's not like an orgasm for your mouth. You know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer, honestly, 100% can't budge me that love can be tasted in a dish. Like, straight up. Like, whenever some people are being cheesy, like, oh, love is the best ingredient ever, it's my secret ingredient. Well, they're not wrong, because when you got somebody who actually fucking loves what they do, I call it good mood food. And that's why, like, whenever I'm cooking, I'm happy. I am in my zen. I love it, man. Like, I am vibing. This food's feeling me. I'm feeling the food. And good mood food, people can taste that shit. Like, you can take somebody who just slops together something according to a recipe, doesn't give a fuck about it, and because there wasn't care taken into the details, there wasn't so much attention paid to how the process should go, you can taste that, versus somebody who's like in it to fucking win it. They're like, blah, 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 a little bit of this, chicka, 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 whoa, whoa, mix, and dish. You know what I mean? Like, it's a vibe, man. You dancing, you singing, like, you just having a good time with it. Your creative process is flowing. It's absolute zen when you're doing it right. And I'm just going to call this episode, I've always said, because that's how it seems like it's going. But I have, honestly, always said that, like, if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, stop. Just stop doing it. Like, figure something else out. If you're not having fun while you're doing it, you're not doing it right. I mean, that's just the plain simple facts of it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're unhappy, boo-boo, and you are sitting between a rock and a hard place and a rut in your life, there is a shakeup of the cage that needs to happen. And you can't really control every other aspect of your reality other than how you react to a situation, which I guess kind of segues real good into this part. Like, it's very frustrating for me, especially at this particular time in my life. It's not the first time something like this has happened, so I guess, unfortunately, I'm a seasoned veteran, and I can kind of process grief and process responsibility, I guess, in a much smoother fashion. But all the notes are there. Like, I've been through this emotional fucking roller coaster over the past 3 months, and it was very key point. I need you to understand that was being the key component destroying me, but it's not anymore. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just got to take a second, you got to lick your wounds, you got to dust yourself off, and then you got to get your ass back in the fight, because ain't nobody going to save you but you. Like, that's how I've always lived for the longest time since I can remember. Like, nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to come to your rescue. If you want to survive, if you want to live, you have to do this yourself. And so I guess that's made me be very mindful of the steps that I've taken in life, how far I've come, the dreams I've chased, and knowing that whenever I do actually put my mind to something, I make it happen. It doesn't always provide fruitful endeavors at the end, but to the same point, it does matter, because I put my mind to it, and I would not put my mind to something that would break it. You know what I mean? I would not sit there and apply my logic, my reactions, my understanding to something if I knew I would be beaten by it. That's just suicide. You know what I mean? That's so uncalled for. So whenever I see a problem and I hit that problem head on, you can bet your bottom dollar. It might take me a little bit longer than the average bear, you know what I mean? But I will beat my head against that brick wall until the brick wall gives. I'll heal. That brick wall will be destroyed, essentially. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, the reset is where I'm coming for all of this. And as I said in my last little vlog, I was really wanting to just put everything out there now, pedal to the metal. Like, I'm sharpening my skills as I go along, and there'll be like fine-tuned, better content coming out. But right now I have to establish an actual schedule, which I guess is the point of this video. Is every Friday night I would like to be able to come home, reflect on my week, because that gives me all things considered, with all the events happening, that gives me the biggest time of recollection and self-reflection. And I can actually digest it and process it in a very healthy way. So I'm going to be talking about all sorts of stuff on here. Like, I guess I'm going to call this the first episode of Behind Gray Eyes. What is the reset? I guess is what I'll title it. But again, the reset is just for me to be able to come back and refocus my energies onto something that is constructive and healthy. Because when it comes down to it, you've got a lot of negative shit flying your way. You have two ways that you can react. You can either introspect, or you can fucking obliterate somebody. Well, I've seen the obliteration side of things, and I'm trying, for the sake of my daughter, to do things in a much more healthy way, in a much more conserved way, because I want her to be able to look at me and say, yeah, he did it right. And that's a very powerful thing. And since she's been born, I think I've hit the reset button like 3 different times, and again, we're not going to delve too hard into it, but I can think of at least 7 times I've hit the hard reset button. And what I mean by that is, you turn chapters in your life, right? You sit there and you go through the shit, you grind and you grind and you grind, and you start here, and then somehow you find yourself here, and then if you're here for too long, you'll end up dropping and dropping and dropping. Well, something fucking went wrong. Something just dropped out. You have to figure that out. And so what a reset for me is, you eliminate all the negative. You learn from the negative, right? You learn what the negative is all about, the foundation, the basis of the negative. You take what you learned that was good and you apply it to, boom, now it's a new chapter in your life. So what are you going to do about it? And I think that's where I'm at right now. I think that's kind of where I'm going with this, is I'm rolling the dice. I'm just going to toss it and hope for the best. And my biggest goal in this whole thing, sure, I would love to have it be a side hustle. Sure, this is a labor of love, and I would love to have this, as my retirement plan, because I want to have conversations. I want to have hard conversations. But in order to do so, I have to be genuine. I think genuinity is something that is lacking so hard in today's society it's unfathomable. It's like everybody hides behind some hive mind bullshit that they read online, it seems like. Maybe not everybody, but like sometimes you meet those people and it's just like, well, okay, I know where they're coming from. But then you have conversations, like actual conversations. And I'm so blessed in this aspect because I work in a place where people are driven by their passions. And we have the most awesome conversations about how we are as human beings. And you get to translate that into making food for other people. That is good mood food, period. Like, I wouldn't change anything. Honestly. Like, it's such a reality check to know that, like, people are going through stuff, they have their passions, and then at the end of the day, if you really enjoy what you're doing, at least you can take your mind off of whatever is ailing you in your personal life and apply it to something constructive, because at the end of the day, that's what will help you sleep at night. And I'm a firm believer in all that. Might as well give me my podium now. I'm starting to preach. But no, I think it's very important that you have fun with what you do. Learn from your mistakes, man. If you fucked up, own that you fucked up. And I've done that plenty of times. And I think there's something powerful in playing cards face up. Whenever you know some shit's going down, you just be like, yo, this is how it is. Okay, this is my viewpoint. How do we fix this? I don't I don't see I don't see problems with people as ways to negate their opinion or drive them down or make them a walking stone for me to get to my next progression. I don't believe in that shit. Not even a little bit. Like, I think that people are human beings. At the end of the day, we are human beings at our core. You know what that means? We're going to fuck up. We're going to fuck up real bad. And when we do fuck up, it's not going to be about who's looking at us, laughing at us. It's going to be about that little inner voice inside that says, yeah, you should like not have done that. So the best thing that I think instead of hiding a mistake is just owning the mistake. Like, step up to the plate, like, yep, this is where we fucked up. How do we go from here? And it just kind of shows, in my opinion, like whenever I encounter somebody like that, it tells me that they got a head on their shoulders. Like, I'm not here to berate you. I'm not going to break you down. Thank you for recognizing that takes my brain off of trying to solve the problem, and we can work through it together. And so, I mean, I'm not perfect, though, because there are a few people out there. Let's not get it twisted. There are a few people out there who have my absolute 100% ire, and I will not back down from that. But that's another story for another time. You know what I mean? But for the other 99% of people, 99.9% of people out there, I am a very happy-go-lucky, patient kind of guy. Like, if you're not having a good time, if you're not understanding what's going on, let me know. Like, fuck, I'm here to help. I want to help people along because I've been down there. You know what I mean? I've been down in the fucking bottom of the trenches, and sometimes you just gotta claw your fucking way out. And so my heart goes out to anybody who's out there in the trenches clawing their way up, and it's just like, bro, I got you. Like, especially if their intentions are pure, they're good people, you got a great personality about you. It's sometimes RNG sucks. Sometimes you get dealt a bad hand. So what do? You take those lemons and you turn them into a fucking lemonade stand. You know what I mean? Like, try to do something constructive, build a future off that shit. And I guess that's kind of what I'm doing here. This is just a dry run for my podcast. This is making sure that I stay genuine to myself, but also holding myself accountable to the people who are listening, because ultimately that's what matters. Like, I feel like the internet lately is just so full of garbage, man. Like, and some of it's fun garbage, some of it's bad garbage. Sometimes it's nothing really harmful or anything, but I would be remiss if I wasn't to try and fight a little harder for my daughter to be able to understand and navigate the online world better. That way she doesn't get duped in the long run. Like, that's my job. That's why I'm here. I am supposed to be a father. It is not my job to let her go and be like, yeah, figure it out, kid. It's my job to show her the right way once or twice, and then after that she can make mistakes. I think we all come into this world with this idea that everybody has a certain insinuated or expected learning curve. It's just like, no, sometimes you just got to roll your fucking sleeves up and show them how to do it the first time. And okay, so how do I put this eloquently? Okay, perfect. So you have a weak link in your chain, right? And the old cliche is you're only as strong as your weak link. Well, that is absolutely fucking fair. So what should you do if you're the strongest link? You go back and you use that double strength to help out the weaker person, because they might be weak for just a moment and they could come out and be double strong next time. Guess what? You're going to want somebody to carry your ass some point. That's the facts. Like, you can't sit there and take advantage of people. You gotta be honest, man. You gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta be honest with the people around you. You gotta be able to dig down and just throw the dirt out, bro. Like, and fucking work it through. And I think that's the kind of difference that I would like to impact the world with. But I can't do that if I'm coming off like I'm chasing some kind of a agenda. I don't believe in agendas. Like, either if we're having a conversation, you tell me exactly what's on your mind at that point in time. We'll solve the problem together. Boop, go. I don't like the manipulations. I don't like game playing, like politics, like all of that shit. I try to stay the fuck out of, because that's not my job. Okay, my job is not to entertain your values. My job is to instate my morals. So, anywho, I think that's actually a really healthy stopping point. Like, wow, I'm kind of impressed that I was able to go this long, and I hope at the end of the day my message resonates, and we're going to turn this into something. We're going to do something big with this. I don't know what it is, but I got a good feeling. So Thank you guys for watching. My name is C Dubs. Welcome to the Reset. I'll see y'all later.